Mobile.
Good morning, good evening, good night.
Morning. Happy pod. Oh, yeah. It could be nighttime if they're listening or watching or whatever, whenever they want. It's a great point. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We have a Do Some Good Mobile podcast that we're recording right now. And we're excited because we're going to be talking to Ronald McDonald Charities today. And we have the executive director that's going to be on with us. Sit back, relax, hang out. We'll get to it in just a second. We hope y'all are well.
Yes, absolutely.
Hope you enjoyed the intro. So what we're doing, if you guys have not already gotten your Do Some Good Mobile magazine, one, go online to mobilerundown.com, find the section. You can read the digital version. Then every organization that's in there, find the one that you like, go reach out to them, get a physical copy of it. And then multiple businesses all around town have these magazines. We created this idea 3 years ago. We launched the first magazine out of a piece of what we do for the Mobile Rundown, and then it turned into this. And then our goal is to continue this in perpetuity until we can cover literally all organizations in Mobile. I think it's going to take us a few years to get to, but we're excited about it.
There's so much good that's being done,
and
there's so much good that's happening that we don't know about. I believe that organizations really work behind the scenes. Sometimes they're not good about tooting their own horn, but we are here to toot their horn and let you guys know how you can get involved. So today we have Paul, the executive director with the Ronald McDonald House Charities, here with us. So we're going to dive in and talk to him about everything that they're doing and ways that you can get involved.
Let's bring him on. Let's toot some horns. Paul, how you doing today?
Good morning. How are y'all?
We're doing great, man. It's good to see you.
You too. Thank y'all for doing this. I really appreciate it. You know, this Do Some Good. It's really helped us a lot. Fundraising is something that all us charities out there are always doing, but right behind that is people having awareness of what we do. So y'all putting us out there and letting people know who we are, what we do is really important. So I really appreciate that. That's even more true with somebody like us, where Ronald McDonald House, most everybody's probably seen our logo attached with McDonald's or something, but a lot of people have no idea what we do. So I really appreciate the opportunity this morning.
Heck yeah. Well, let's go straight into it. Oh, real quick before I forget. So you guys were sponsored by the Grounds of Mobile. So just want to say, hey, shout out to Grounds of Mobile for sponsoring the write-up for Ronald McDonald House. But so let's treat this today like when people are listening, they're like, okay, I've been to McDonald's and like I ate some burgers, but like, what is this Ronald McDonald House? Like, let's start at that level. Someone has no idea what you guys do.
Okay.
What would you tell us?
Okay. And first off, I appreciate Josh and his people out there at the Grounds for sponsoring us. They're big partners of ours. We really appreciate them too.
They are good people. Yes.
Yeah, they really are. So Ronald McDonald House, we are a home away from home for families of hospitalized children. We're a place for those families to stay literally right next door to the hospital. So our house sits right in front of USA Children's and Women's Hospital. It's a 38-room house, 38 guest rooms. So we can house 38 families at a time, and they can stay here for as long as their kids in the hospital, whether that's one night or we've had families stay here almost a year. And then we also have a couple of what we call Ronald McDonald family rooms down inside the hospital, which are like respite rooms for during the day.
That's incredible. So is it University of South Alabama that you work with directly, or are you working with other hospitals in the area?
Yeah, we work with all area hospitals. But it just turns out that about 95% probably of the families are at Children's and Women's. We'll get some from the infirmary. We'll get some from USA Medical Center every now and again, some, one of the other hospitals, but mostly with Children's and Women's. One, just because that's where most of the kids are going. And two, that's we sit literally right in front of it. So
it's a great location.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is it for people? So is it from people that are all over like the country that come here, just from the area, only from Mobile? Like, where are the families from?
Right. It's both really. So it's really for families that are not just right here. So, and that's kind of the interesting thing about Ronald McDonald House. You won't have one in your community, but the community you're in is not really going to use it as much as the surrounding area. So we have basically, if you live about 20 miles or more away from here, you stay with us. And that makes a lot of sense. If you live right here in, Mobile, you're probably going to go home. We say we're a home away from home, but we're not exactly like your home. So, but anybody that's more than 20 miles away, they're going to want to stay with us instead of going home. So, we end up with a lot of people from Baldwin County, a lot of people from Washington County, Clark County. About 40% of our people are from coastal Mississippi, and then all over. And then especially during the summer, like coming up now, unfortunately, things will happen of tourists coming through to our beaches, and we'll get a lot of people from that too. So, but it's the people that actually spend the night here are usually 20 miles or more away. But then now those family rooms down in the hospital, everybody uses those. People that right here in Mobile or far away, they're all using those down there, which is why we wanted to have those rooms in the hospital, to be able to offer more to local families too, not just families that are 20 miles or more away.
Right. And when you have a child that's sick in the hospital, you don't necessarily want to leave the hospital in the middle of the day if you don't have to, or whenever they're using these rooms. That's incredible. I had no idea that you guys had the resource actually located at the hospital. That's incredible.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to be, is just that resource. Because like you said, I mean, y'all have kids, I have kids. You can imagine what that would be like. You don't want to leave your kid's bedside, and you've got to spend all of your energy, all of your focus has to be on taking care of them. So we try to provide the things that takes care of you. We try to basically set the table for you. So all you've got to do is come back here in the evening. There's a meal for you. There's laundry detergent and stuff in the laundry room. So all you got to do is stumble in there and do your laundry, take a nap, go back down to your kid's room. We have a workout room if that helps you relieve some stress. We got lots of outdoor areas. If that helps you, we got all kind of stuff that we can have for these families. And it's all about supporting them so they can support their kids back to health. That's in a nutshell what we are.
I love it. And so when a family comes, they don't have any expense. Is that correct? This is all provided at them at no cost.
Right. We'll take a donation, obviously, if they want to give it, but there's no cost. And there's also no financial responsibility or no financial, requirement. A lot of people think, oh, Ronald McDonald House is only for people who can't afford somewhere else. No, Ronald McDonald House is for anybody whose kid is in the hospital and you live more than 20 miles away and you want to be as close to your child as possible. It doesn't matter what your economics are. Economics mean nothing. Distance to your child is what it is. Right. So it doesn't matter. We don't look. There's no income requirement. We're not looking at that. We're really just, hey, we get a referral from either your doctor, nurse, or social worker that your kid's in the hospital, and you tell us you live about 20 miles or more away, and you stay here. And you stay here for as long as your child's in the hospital. You stay here. So
that's incredible. Yeah, I'm really glad you cleared that up, because that is a common misconception that has to do with low income or the poverty level or anything like that. It is just really for a resource for families who are, going through something with their child. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
I had a dad. I had a dad a couple of years ago who told me that there was he counted, and there was the closest hotel was 8 traffic lights away, and he was like, "That's just too far. I can't be that far away."
Yeah.
Wow.
That's at a traffic light. Whenever your child is in the hospital, a traffic light is longer than it normally is. Right.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Okay, and you guys have some, I guess, what is it called? Partnerships with local restaurants and catering companies to be able to provide meals for these families. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So back in the pre-COVID days, it was groups came here and actually physically cooked here at the house 90% of the time. And then 10% of the time it was catered in by somebody. Now that's completely flipped. And for obvious reasons, we're still not able to have groups come in and cook. So now every meal that's coming in here, and we try to provide at least one meal a day for the families. Every meal that's coming in here is catered from a local restaurant or a local caterer for the most part. So we're always looking for groups to sponsor those. So either get a caterer or restaurant themselves that they are associated with to provide the meal for us, or sometimes we'll have groups or individuals that'll give us give us the funds, and then we'll go out and get a local restaurant or caterer to bring in immediately safe. And we even have to package them up, individual containers. We used to serve stuff family style, but that's
not anymore.
No, now it's individual portions. Yeah.
And things like that, those things add up. And those are the things that really fundraising helps with. And that's another thing that I wanted to touch base with. You guys do some incredible fundraising and very outside the box fundraisings. Y'all have some of the most fun events that Mobile puts on. And I know that you have something coming up in August. If that's still planned and that's still on the table, if nothing crazy has happened. I know y'all went virtual with the Rubber Ducky Regatta last year. But so with that coming up, is there a way that people can find out about that, and tell us all about that event as well?
What are these rubber duckies? Tell us about these rubber duckies.
So we are having it. Actually, we have a date now. It's Tuesday, August 3rd.
Fantastic.
10 to noon. It will be, hopefully it's planned now to be in person. We'll hope to have children there. If we can, that's the plan now. Things obviously can change, but we're planning to be able to have people there. And we dumped 10,000 ducks in the Mobile River, and they raced down to the finish line. So I actually saw this for the different charity. I was in Chicago for a conference about 4 years ago, I guess, and they were dumping 50,000 ducks out of a dump truck. And I saw it, and I saw all these kids standing around watching it with their families, and I was like, I've got to bring that to Mobile. That would be perfect. We're a children's charity. We need a children's, centric idea. Yes. So that's how it came from. So I came back and I talked to Mayor Stimpson, and he was like, "Sure, you could dump them in the river." So he helped us a lot to get it going, because people thought we were nuts when I first brought it back. They're like, "You're going to do what?" Yeah.
When I heard of it, because with everything with the rundown, we have events, at us all the time. And when I heard about this, I was like, brilliant. This is so great. I had no idea how y'all were going to pull it off, but you pulled it off and it worked great. So this is the third year, correct?
I think this is four. I think this is the fourth year. Yes, this will be the fourth one. Yes, they come so fast that I forget. But so we'll do that. It's people can go to our website. Pretty soon the link will be active for them to adopt their ducks. It's only $5 to adopt a duck. And we'll have some really great prizes. And basically we dump them in. And the ducks have a number on them. They're actually racing ducks. I had to order these ducks special. They're weighted.
Ducks.
They're actually weighted down, and they have a number printed on them. So they race down to the end, and then we pluck them out one by one. Whoever gets there first, and whatever number that is, that's the person that wins the prize. So it's a lot of fun. Again, I hope we're going to be able to have kids there. We'd like to have kids activities that they can do, and then let's let all the kids and their families stand there at the rail right there at Cooper Riverside Park and watch it. I mean, the ducks take 5 minutes to race, and that's why we're having it on a Tuesday. We are beholden to the tides, so we
good point.
So, Cooper Stevedoring really helps us. Cooper T. Smith, they help us a lot with the logistics of this. So we let them. We actually have to go to them and say, "Hey, what's a good tide date? What's a date where the water's going in the right direction at the right time for us to throw these things in here? Because otherwise, it will be a mess."
I haven't even thought about that.
I wouldn't have thought about that either.
That would have been not even on my radar.
And and you mentioned a duck being like $5. That's super affordable for anyone. Like anyone, it's like a donation, but it's also super fun. So I mean, if somebody wants to buy 20 ducks, awesome. If you want to buy one duck, then buy your one duck, and it's fun, and you're helping out, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can grow this really big in the coming years. I think it's a really good thing for Mobile. I think it's really good for us. I think it's just a great family event that, like you said, it's simple. It's so simple. But I mean, we're right here on the water. We need something like that for families to do. So I'm hoping we can really grow it over the next years.
Where do you dump them in? Is it at Cooper or like what?
Yeah, right there at the park. So we'll put them in like a big I don't know what kind of machine you would call it, like a big, almost like an excavator type thing. It just takes them out over the water and just dumps all 10,000 in at one time. Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of logistics to do that. And then they're actually they're in between two oil booms, so they're not just free in the Mobile River to get away. Yeah, they're actually. Yeah, Oil Recovery Company actually the day before puts out some oil boom for us. So there's a lane that these suckers can go in, because if they got out, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah,
Yes, you would.
yeah. I was actually gonna ask, and I was like, well, no, I'm sure everyone will. I'm glad you actually pointed that out, because I'm like, just in case some listeners are like, wait a minute, are these things ending up in the Gulf of Mexico or whatever?
No,
are we littering the world with?
We get them all back, and we'll even have a boat ready in case any of the ducks got out.
Runaway duckies.
Yeah, somebody will go scoop them up real quick. So no, we don't want to get in trouble with anybody. No, we are not letting those things get away. Plus, we reuse them every year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Plus, they have numbers on them, weighted ducks. Like you don't want to lose these puppies, man, or these duckies, because those are prize ducks for sure.
Exactly.
Y'all have another event, Little Black Dress. Isn't that what it's called?
Yes.
Little Black Dress. That's a super popular event. That's a big event you guys do.
We're hoping that'll come back next year. Of course, we haven't been able to have it. We weren't able to have it. Last year, obviously. Not sure if we'll have it this coming year, but it'll definitely come back at some point. It's a big event. We'll have 600 people at that event. So once 600 people are okay being in a room together again, we'd love to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a New York style runway show. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, go ahead and explain like what that is. If someone's like, oh, I have no idea. Like, what is the event? Like, how does it look? When it happens.
So we get local models, companies, individuals to sponsor local models, men and women, and then Dillard's provides their clothes. We get hairstylists, we get makeup artists that fix them up that day, and then we build a full-size professional runway in Fort Riding. It's really cool. So all the lighting, all the music that you'd expect. This is not a fashion show. Fashion show is somebody walking out slowly and they're telling you what they're wearing. No, this is like fast-paced music, like a New York style runway show is what
Got
this
it.
is. Yeah.
Bringing the New York to the lower Alabama, bringing the LA to the LA, and having the high class night with the music and the fancy and the stuff. Yeah, that's fun.
That's it.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It'll come back. It'll come back very soon. Hopefully next year.
Absolutely. And that's what I was saying. You guys have some like really creative ideas, just things that Mobile just has not had before as far as fundraising goes. You really have to be creative in the world. It's fun to do a 5K. Those things are great. Dinners and those things are fabulous. But something just a little bit different, I think, is kind of fun too. And now you guys do have a subset of Ronald McDonald House Charities called the Red Shoe Society. Is that still a thing? And
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our young leaders group. So we still have our Red Shoe Society. Obviously it was kind of put on hold a little bit last year, but it's growing back again. They help us do a lot of things. They help us do a lot of our advocacy. They help volunteer at a lot of our events. They'll have their own event this fall, the Red Shoe Brew.
That's right.
So they've had that for a few years. Yeah, they're a great group for us.
Is that something that is age specific? So if anybody is
Not
listening,
really. It's mostly young professionals is kind of the way it's touted, but it's not exactly that. There's not exactly like an age requirement. I mean, it's obvious it's 21 or older because of some of the events they have, but it's really not that. It's somewhat of a young professionals, but it's not. There's nothing set in stone for it. I'd say that.
Gotcha.
Young professional at heart.
It's how you feel on the inside.
Exactly.
Y'all do just so many amazing things. And you said your location you are down in front of USA Women's and Children's, and that is right off of Spring Hill Avenue. Is that correct?
Yeah. And then there's a really nice children's park in between us and the hospital. So the families literally just walk down the hill to this really nice park. So it's a really nice setup for them. I go out there and walk myself a lot just to see the beautiful park. So it's it's not a good situation for the families, but we're trying to give them a good situation as best we can in between. And that's what a lot of people don't know about us. I think a lot of people, when they can come here, think, oh, Ronald McDonald House must be this sad place with all these families are really, crying or upset about their kids. And they are, but it's really a very hopeful place. I'm always inspired by the families that are here, by just how resilient they are, because they don't have a choice. They have to be resilient for their kids. They have to be, putting on a good face and trying to make the best of it and just deal with it, especially these families. I mean, a lot of our families are here 3 months, 6 months or more, especially if they have, if it's a cancer patient or a premature child, they'll be here for a month. So just to see how resilient they are and how they deal with it. And again, it's a hopeful place. Do we have our tragedies? Yes. But most of these children are going to recover. It's just a matter of time. And the families are happy to be here, to be so close to their kid. And it's a happy place most of the time. And we see a lot of great things with a lot of wonderful recovery of children, and they come back and we see them later, and it's really a cool thing.
You are part of, or the organization, you guys are a part of their story, their recovery story, and that's incredible. So you're part of these guys' families and lives forever, and you are forever changing the way that they perceive or remember their time in the hospital whenever their child was there. It's because it can be a very hard thing to coordinate. So is this something that is all over our nation, or is this something specific to Mobile?
It's actually all over the world now. So yeah, there's about 350 houses in about 60 different countries. So the majority of them are in the US. There's about, I'd say probably 250 of the 350 are in the US. So almost, most major cities that have a children's hospital of some sort, most of them have a Ronald McDonald House near them. But then we're all over the place. Again, and part of that's because of our affiliation with McDonald's, is we can go into countries that maybe other places can't. If they've got a McDonald's infrastructure, then the Ronald McDonald House Charities, which is, again, we're a completely separate organization, but because of our partnership, we can kind of go in behind them. So we're in, all over Europe, South America. There's even some in Asia. There's Australia. We're everywhere.
Wow.
That's incredible. Such an amazing resource to have. And so you say we're a family, we're from, I don't know, Central L. We're way out. And our child is at USA specifically. Are you guys there to, how does the family find out about your resource? How do they know that you are available, or if you have any rooms available or anything like that?
Right. So it all comes from the doctors and the nurses and the social workers at the hospital. So we do a lot of education to make sure that all the staff, people at the local hospitals know about us, so that when they get a family with a child and they know that the family is, again, they know where the family lives and how long they're going to be in the hospital, they refer them to us that way. So we're actually hearing from the hospital first. They're telling us about the family, and then we're going through the process with the family to get them checked in. And we're lucky that with our 38 rooms, we most of the time have some availability. We don't have back when I first started here, we were a 12-bedroom house. We're 21 years old now. Yeah, we're 21 years old now, but for the first 10 years, we were a 12-bedroom house, and we had terrible waiting lists. We would have more people on the waiting list than in the house. But since we've been 38 rooms, we rarely have where there's a waiting list. It might be occasionally where we're completely full and you have to wait till the next morning to check in, but that's rare. We're very fortunate now that we pretty much always have some availability, and we can get a family in the same day that the hospital tells us about them.
That's incredible. It's such an amazing resource.
It is amazing. And I read where a gift that people could donate, unless I misread, it seemed really affordable to be able to help a family for a week or something in the write-up.
So we're asking
$84.
$84. Is that an accurate figure? Okay. I was like, is this a typo to help a family for a week or whatever?
So what we do ask families that stay with us, if they want to make some type of donation to us, to make a $12 a night donation. So what we ask people over half our families can make no donation at all, which is completely fine. So we ask the community, hey, give that $12 that the family could have given. Think about giving that to us per night. So that's where we come up with the $84 per night, or for a week to stay here. But so that's we're always looking. We call it our share a night program. So we're always looking for people to donate that $12 a night for that share a night program. Because again, most families can't donate while they're here. I mean, think about it. Their bills at their house don't stop just because they're staying here. And at least one of the parents is not going to be working while their kid's in the hospital. And Family Medical Leave Act saves their job, but it doesn't save their paycheck during that time. So you think about a family that might be here 2 or 3 months, and at least mom or dad or both are not working for that period of time, but they've still got their mortgage, they've still got their power bill at home, all those things. They can't afford to make a donation to us. So we're very blessed that the community is so, helpful to us to keep the place going, so that if a family gives us money, great. But if they don't, that's great too. They can stay here for almost, we've had families stay here almost a full year and never give a donation, but the community's behind them supporting us so that they can just stay here without having to worry about giving any type of money to us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, plus whatever's going on at the hospital. I mean, there may be a giant number there that they're responsible for or whatever.
Right.
I mean, who knows that side? So is there a question, is there anything that you wished people asked you about your organization, but you don't get asked, that you want to tell people?
I think one of the biggest things that's hard for people to understand is, how are you connected to McDonald's? So, so we are not owned by McDonald's. A lot of people think we're just, and a lot of people think, oh, they don't need my help because McDonald's is just writing them a big fat check every year. That's not the way it works either. So McDonald's is our what we call our mission partner. They helped found the very first house. They help with every house that gets founded, and the local owners that own the local McDonald's stores help us. But we're not owned by McDonald's in any way. We need it's about 10 to 15% of my revenue every year comes from McDonald's. So they're a big help. You've seen the little donation boxes in their stores. I get every bit of that. Every bit of that money comes to us, and then they give us a penny for every Happy Meal they sell. They sell a lot of Happy Meals.
So, they do.
So we get a lot of support from them. And we have McDonald's owners on our board. They are very supportive of us, but they don't own us. And so I think that's a big misconception. It's hard to kind of put out there to the community, but I always want people to know, hey, we need your help. We are not just an arm of this multi-billion-dollar company that they're writing us a check every day. That is not how it works at all. So we need other people's help, but at the same time, I want people to know, McDonald's is important to us. They are very supportive of us. We are we're their mission partner charity, and they help us tremendously. But we need everybody. Yeah,
and I'm sure 10 to 15%. I mean, that's a lot of your budget, but that's 10 to 15%. That means you have to come up with 85, 90% of how you're going to run and operate your organization, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky. That's great to have. I mean, who else has a corporation that large behind them all the time? So we're extremely lucky, but it takes everybody.
100%.
Absolutely. So that is a great segue into how the community can help. Is it more monetary donations, or do you guys need other donations as well for people in the house?
Both. So obviously we always need monetary donations to keep the place going. So that share a night program that we have, where people give $12 or more a night for us, is always a need for us. But we need those family meals. We are, especially now that we have to do it a different way, we are always looking for companies or civic groups or even individual families to sponsor a meal for us, to either give us the funds and we'll find the caterer restaurant, or just schedule with us. We have a calendar out there on our website. You can see what dates are open. And
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yes.
You pick the caterer or the restaurant. We're feeding about 40 plus, sometimes 50 people a night here. So it's quite a daunting task. So we always in need of help for that. And then we always have a running wish list. It's on our website. And we also have an Amazon wish list that people can go to. Because think about I'll say this. Our house is just like my house or your house. It's just way bigger. So toilet paper, paper towels, laundry detergent, all those things that you use, imagine how much of it we use in a month. So we are always looking for groups to just drop off stuff to us. And that happens all the time. You're going to Sam's, buy an extra big pack of, toilet paper or paper towels and drop it off to us, or individually wrapped snacks. We're always putting out stuff like that for the families to be able to just think about it. You go get your cup of coffee in the morning, they go grab a couple of snack things, throw it in their bag, and then they go down to the hospital and they don't come back till dinner time. So we're always looking for stuff like that. We're always looking for donated items of things that we can use to provide for the families, because they are here most of the time. They are here at the hospital. They're not going to the store to buy their own stuff. They don't have time. You wouldn't take time. I wouldn't take time to go to the store and do that. So we're trying to have it all right here. So they just have to open a cabinet. There it is, and they use it. So anything uses your house, we can use at our house.
That makes total sense. Paul, it's been great. We don't want to monopolize all your time today. So I guess let's wrap up by telling people definitely the website. So it sounds like that's probably the main hub of information.
Yeah.
So, but the question would be, if you wanted to point people to you guys, how would you want them to reach out to you guys and find you?
Yeah, the best way to reach us is our website, rmhcmobile.org. And from there, you can get to our Facebook or Instagram or all other places. You'll see a lot of things. A lot of our needs we'll end up posting on Facebook. So you get that from our website. And then when the Rubber Ducky Regatta kicks off pretty soon, that'll be there. And then donating the calendar, like I said earlier, the calendar to sign up for a meal is there. So pretty much everything runs through that website. It's the easiest place for people to go to get in contact with us. And we really appreciate people. I mean, that's one of the best parts about my job is seeing this. This is a wonderful community, a very supportive community, and seeing what people do for these families, and then us seeing the family's reaction to, I can't believe this much is provided for me. I'll tell you just a really quick story, and then we wrap up. There was a lady a couple of years ago, and I saw her giving her a tour to a guest she had, and I heard her say, when they told me I was coming down here, I was expecting like a big dormitory with just some bunk beds and things. I didn't know I was going to get my own room. And I always think about back to that story and think two things. One, I'm so thankful that we're able to provide such a much higher than just a dormitory for these families. They all get their own private guest room, private bathroom, all these amenities. I'm so grateful that we're able to provide that. But on the other thing as I think about is that mom was coming here. Even if it was just a dormitory, she was going to be here because that was what was keeping her closer to her kid. So I never forget that one little story. It always, to me, brings back the importance of what this place is even if it was just a dorm room bed with a bunch of other people in the same room, that was important to her. But we're able to provide so much more because our community is so good to us.
Oh, I'm so glad that you shared that. That really puts it in perspective for sure. Because really, all they want is to be near their child in a time like that. So
that's all they need.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for sharing what you guys do and educating everyone on the organization. And excited about checking out your fun events. For anyone that hasn't been to them, that's a way to get involved too. So we really appreciate your time today.
Thank you. And again, I appreciate y'all for doing this. It really helps us to get the word out there about what we are and what we do. And that's so important. So thank y'all very, very much for this.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. All right, Paul, take care. Talk to you soon, sir.
Right.
Bye. That was great.
That was fantastic. I just,
What's your recap? What's the recap? 90-second recap.
90-second recap. Okay. Well, I think that, first of all, it is a devastating situation for anyone to be in when you have a child in the hospital, a child that is sick. Whatever the situation is, even if they have what I mean?
100%.
Mama bear, whenever ours gets a cold, I'm just like, what do I do? And so whenever it's something,
I can't imagine actually what the families are actually going through, but it sounds like that organization helps makes it as seamless as possible, or as happy as possible, or as comfortable as possible, as normal as possible when they're going through a really tough situation. So that and Paul's just energy, man. So he's the director. Yeah, did we know Paul before? I don't think I met.
Like we know him now.
Have we met you before? Yeah, I don't know. We're friends now. So that was I thought it was great. So look, if your organization, if you were not a part of our magazine this year and you're hearing about it and you're like, what the heck is this? Why wasn't I a part of this? Reach out to us. It costs a lot of money to produce this project, but people find sponsors to get written up in the magazine.
Right.
If you're a company out there and you're like, wait a minute, my favorite charity wasn't in there or whatever, also reach out to us because you can sponsor the organization that you love for next year. And we make it as affordable as possible. And this project, we talk about it all year long. So people get so much promotion out of this project. And I'll be honest, we feel really good about it.
It's good. It's good. Our goal, and something you touched on earlier, our goal is to be able to get the word out about every organization in our area. So the only way we can do that is with your support.
We want more. We need more organizations in it.
Yes.
I think we had 30-ish or something this year.
31.
20-ish, 31. We need next year needs to be 50 and then 60. And there's hundreds of like active organizations that are doing really cool stuff in Mobile. So thank you so much for paying attention, for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
Get out and do some good.
Get out and do some good. See you guys.